Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. So this week I am just going to read whatever I like because I have arcs to get through and I have a whole stack of library books. So I was going to do a themed vlog for this week, spice things up, but I've just got too many books and I can't think of a theme that could encapsulate all of them. So I will go and show you what I've got from the library. Then we have the wishing game. So this has been doing the rounds. I have seen so many booktubers raving about this, so I thought I want to check it out and see what all the fuss is about. And then I've got Eva Evergreen Semi-Magical Witch. So this is a middle grade book. It's actually quite hefty for a middle grade book. How many pages is this? 382, and not very big font. So we'll see how it goes. I wanted to recommend it to my daughter, but I needed to read it first. So it looks like a cozy, magical, probably low stakes book. And then we've got The Fractured Dark. So this was a sequel to The Blighted Stars, which I loved. And this looks like another big boy. How many pages is this one? 504. 504 of small font. So that looks like short chapters though. So thank God for short chapters. But yes, I am very excited for this. This might get priority after the arcs, of course. And then I've got some picture books for the kiddos. So we've got Alfie the Kind. She loves anything to do with animals. That is her absolute #1 prerequisite for a book. Here we've got Dear Easter Bunny and Noticing by Kobe Yamada. So I don't think she'll be into this one, but she absolutely loves Maybe by this same author, so much so that we bought the plush pig that goes with the book, and I found his words in that were absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to try out some of his other picture books to see if they had the same depth that I'm looking for. I've got some arcs too to read. I'll put some pictures up here of what they are. But that's pretty much the plan for the week. All these books that you see here, they're the ones I'm going to try and hit. I won't put them all in this vlog because it's too many and then my vlogs go for too long. But we'll see what I can do. I am going out this evening, so I'm going dancing. I'm hitting up the clubs with my cousin. I'm probably mostly going to be acting as a wingman for her. I don't really see a lot of people my age being there or any romantic prospects, but I'm hoping to get my groove on and hopefully find her a date for the future. But I'm also hoping to be back before midnight. I really am. I asked her, I'm like, can we go at 6:30 and we can just sit and chill for a bit? And she's like, that's too early. I cannot. She's like, I actually wanted to go at 10:30. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. That is not happening. So we compromised on 8:30. But I need to get going and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Can you see your ass from here? Wait. I can't see your... Ow! I see you looking at my pee.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. So, last night was fun. It was a lot of 20-year-olds and then a lot of 45-plus-year-olds. So my younger cousin, I was a great wing woman for her, got her some guys' numbers. She can do with them what she will. But there was no one there for me. I did have some ladies flirt with me, which was lovely, but they were all in their 20s. So not for me. I cannot date someone in their 20s. Too old. It's too much of a gap. So the dancing was great. All the women were walking in with sneakers and flats, and we realized very quickly that we also should have done that. We should have done that. So note to future Chanel, if you want to go and dance, which is a sweaty affair also, don't wear long sleeve velvet dress. It's going to feel like a sauna. And 2, wear the comfiest shoes possible. It's so great these days that dress codes allow women to wear runners. I could have really used that when I was 18 and out all night long. So yeah, this time as well, I wore my most comfortable heels, but you know, after a couple hours, I was dying and I was ready to call it a night at 11. But my cousin is young and she wanted to continue on, so I didn't get into bed until 1:30 in the morning, and then I was up at 6. And then I stayed in bed, but then my mum, God bless her, came at 9 o'clock with jam donuts and croissants. Oh, honey. Oh. Have you got a hairball? Oh. You okay? You okay? That was a bit scary. Yeah, you're okay. Sylvie's down here. I know you can't see her, but... Oh. Right? You okay? Poor love. You poor booby. But I did read a book. Oh, it's another arc from Nat Galley. I think it's called A Duke's Keeper. I'm obviously putting a picture up here. Okay, so this one, I've given it 3. I'm going to start with what I liked. So what I liked, Sorry, I'm just noticing, I'm like, oh, am I getting shoulder gains? That would be amazing. I have been pumping the iron. I liked the beginning. I thought it was a really good setup, an introduction to the characters. They were both feisty, they were both bloodthirsty, and the banter and the bickering was top notch. Loved it, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna like this. Unfortunately, it employs tropes that I don't like, so it is definitely not slow burn. They have sex very, 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 very quickly. There's a trope in there that I absolutely do not like, and I can't say it because it's a spoilery trope, but I don't like it. I don't like it. And there's also the case of he went to visit a brothel so he could purchase sex, so he could get her out of his system. Even though he didn't go through with it, he went there and he said what he wanted, and then he was like, I think I should leave. I don't think I should do this. And I don't know, like, I just prefer my leading romantic suitors to not visit brothels. This is obviously Regency era. That's just a personal preference, you know? I prefer that they only, once they've met the female love interest, they only have eyes for her and they don't mess about with anybody else. That's just how I like it. I want them to be obsessed with the woman, not thinking about others tugging on their Johnsons. So because of that, yeah, I gave it a 3. Like, I like the way it was written, but yeah, the storyline went this weird direction too. It felt like it was a bit dragged out. And there was a lot of murdering going on. There was like a side plot of a killer on the loose. So I don't know, it just felt a bit not super cohesive, a bit all over the place. Like, it was very action-packed for a historical romance. But if you like a lot of action and you like the leads to get together very quickly, then this might be for you. But yeah, it wasn't my jam, but that's okay. So the next books that I'm going to read, I've got another arc. I'll put it up here, so I'll read this. And I'm also going to read the Blighted Stars sequel. I think it's called Fractured something. I'll also put it up here. So those are the 2 books that are next up on the lineup. But I've got Valentine's friend coming over for a sleepover today, which means Indiana's going to be in the bed with me. Fun times. Which means also no sleep again, really, for mama. So I've got to go, and I've got to go shopping and buy all the snacks and all the yummy things and figure out what movie we're going to watch. Hopefully it's just something on one of the streaming services I have. That would be best. I've got so many, and yet my daughter, my tween, always finds some show or some movie on some other streaming service. I'm like, dude, no. We've got 3. Pick something on one of the 3. But I'll touch base with you guys later on.
Sylvia loves her new toy. She's got a soft spot for stuffed fish.
So this is The Wishing Game. This is a book where an author decides to write a new book. He gives people a ticket to try and win it. But the main character is Lucy. She's a teacher's aide and she's obsessed with a 7-year-old foster kid. And it gave me the ick. I know they were going for Matilda and Miss Honey, but no. So I'm just going to read you so you can understand what it's like. So the foster lady's talking about his foster parents. Catherine Bailey and her husband are one of our best families. He's lucky to have them. I would be better for him. He has a strong attachment to me. They feed him, clothe him, put a roof over his head, keep him safe, make sure he does his schoolwork, and Mrs. Bailey shows up prepared to every court hearing, every team meeting. What more do you want? I want him to be loved. They don't love him, not like I do. That isn't a crime. It should be. Listen to me. I would give that boy to you this minute if I could. If love were enough, you'd be the perfect person to adopt him. But you will never pass the home study, not with things as they are right now. You're in a lot of credit card debt, Lucy. You don't have access to reliable transportation. You live with 3 roommates in a house that's 1 grease fire away from going up in smoke. Oh, and one of those roommates has a recent DUI conviction. Even if we got you enrolled in all the public assistance available to you, you still wouldn't be able to afford appropriate housing and a car. I mean, Lucy, think about it. If I sent Christopher home with you today, where would he sleep? On the floor of your bedroom? I'd sleep on the floor. He can have the bed. Lucy, we get money, right? Foster parents get a stipend from the state. I'd use it to get us better housing. You need to have appropriate housing before you foster a child. Look, it says here, kids in foster care are 7 times more likely to suffer from depression, 5 times more likely to have anxiety than other kids, 4 times more likely to go to jail. You want me to keep going? Isn't living in a crappy house for a couple of months a small price to pay for saving him? He needs a real mom. He's better off with me than someone just going through the motions. The motions are pretty darn important too. I know you think kids need nothing but love, but a strong dose of stability doesn't hurt either. I hate to say it, but your life is currently not stable enough for a child. He has school. He has therapy sessions twice a week. And what happens when he wakes up sick and needs medicine in the middle of the night, and the only pharmacy open is 10 miles away? Wait 2 hours for a bus, wake up one of your roommates and ask them to drive you, ride your bike at 4 a.m. on the highway. I can borrow one of their cars. You need a job. So yes, the delusion that this woman has, like the inappropriateness too, to foster this relationship with her student and tell him like, I need to be your mum. I just need to get money and then I can adopt you. Don't worry, I'll get you out of there. When he's in a good foster home, like granted, she's saying he's not getting enough attention because this foster mom is also fostering 2 very sick infants. No, like woman, no, you're being very inappropriate and you are literally not in a position to take care of another human being. So I got the massive ick with this and I had to DNF it. Okay, I'm doing this really quickly. I thought I filmed, but camera wasn't on. So quickly, because I'm going on a date. Queen of Shifting Sands, Arc from NetGalley, DNF'd it. I decided going forward that if I'm reading a book that's feeling like it's going to be less than 3.5 stars, not to persist, because I don't want to be reading books less than 3.5 stars. And I'd rather just say DNF. This wasn't for me. And this wasn't for me in terms of I didn't like either character. I didn't like the tropes that were in here and I just wasn't connecting to it. Then I read The Fractured Dark, which was a sequel, and that was fantastic. I gave that 4.25. Can't talk about the plot much, but it's a parasitic sci-fi where you download your consciousness into printed bodies and the universe is kind of being ruled by these very rich families that mine these minerals that humanity needs to survive. So I enjoyed it. The romance is still beautiful. Tarquin can still get it. I love that boy. Man. So love that book. And I read The Honey Witch, which is also an arc from NetGalley. So basically, if you like cottagecore, spring aesthetic and honeybees, this is your jam. If you like the cover, if you're vibing with it, read the book, because this book is really about the vibes that the cover is giving. It's a very cozy queer fantasy that's got a touch of magic and is dripped in honey. The things I didn't like about this book was that the main character, Mari, was a bit persnickety, a bit curmudgeonly, a bit of a judgy Susan. You know, didn't love that. And the dialogue felt very unnatural. It felt very scripted, very forced, very written. So that one didn't really jive with me, but overall I still enjoyed my time with it. It was a 3.75. But those were all of the books that I read this week. Until next time, stay well, Star Child.